Pastors like Alexi.
Okay. Yes. I hope we listen to that attentively. Okay, so I want to ask a few questions. All right. So the first question I want to ask would be, how old is the boy? Is the young boy? So how old was the young boy, or is the young boy, when he started building his games? Awesome, 5 years old. That's very great. Okay, so yes, the boy was 5 years old when he started building his games. And how many games has he built so far? Elijah, this is perfect. 47. Yes, so he has built up to 47 games, right? And can someone tell me, okay, how did he learn how to, like, how many weeks did he say that boot camp was for? The boot camp that taught him 4 weeks. Okay, so can someone now remind me, like, how many weeks is this particular coding boot camp that we're doing right now by Destech? Or how many days is it? Anybody? 1 week. Yeah, that's true. So we're learning how to create games in like about 1 week, right? So it would give you like the knowledge you need to build games, and not just any game now. Building games isn't all right. So for this particular young boy, can someone tell me what he won? Like because of the fact that he was able to learn how to build games and then start building games, what did he win? Anybody? Does anyone wants to try? Anyone? A trip to Egypt. That's very perfect. Thank you, Elijah. Well done. Yeah, so you won a visa, a like free visa to go to Egypt. Like how many of us would like that, right? Free visa opportunities, scholarships. Like there are a lot of amazing learn about all of these things involving STEM. Okay, how to build games and different things, right? And the very interesting thing is when you build your game, you can actually put it out there for your friends to play the games, for other children to play the games, right? So it's very, very exciting. The different opportunities that comes with you as a child learning how to build games, right? So I think this particular training is open to I think 10 years to 24 years. I can't really remember the age range. Yes, but it's very exciting what you get to learn right in this 1 week, and it would skyrocket you to like different amazing opportunities out there. So I'll be playing um another introductory video to us. Okay, just trying to introduce us to okay what like programming is or what computer is generally. Okay, because you might be hearing the word Python. They're wondering, wait, what's Python? Is it a snake? No, it's not a snake. It's actually a name of a programming language. Though yes, you'll not be asking me, oh, what's programming language? So I'll play another video for us that will just what I mean when I say okay, programming language. So let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again. So take note that I'll be asking questions as well. So let's listen attentively. So this, as I said, is an introduction to okay, what's a computer, what's programming language, and how does like Python come in, or, and all of that. So you understand the basics. Okay.
Said we're getting a computer. Yay! But I really don't know what a computer is. I can help you there, Topher. Oh, hi, Uka. This is my friend, Uka. Uka, you work with computers, right? Can you tell us how computers work? What is a computer anyway?
Well, there are all kinds of computers. Some of be a desktop computer or a laptop or a tablet. Even your smartphone is a computer.
Oh, well, why do we need all these
Compute. Do you know what that means?
like adding and subtracting?
Right. Computers see the world as if it's made of numbers. Actually, just two kinds of numbers, ones and zeros. By making everything very simple, adding and subtracting ones and zeros, computers solve problems really faster than people can.
Oh, well, my mom says she uses a computer to do work, but she says I'll be able to play games with it too.
It's true. You can use a computer to do work, but you can also use a computer to have fun.
Wow, really?
You can use it to do your math homework, or draw a picture, or go on the internet. We send emails using computers. I'm talking to you right now on a computer using video chat.
Gosh, computers must be very, very smart.
They're only as smart as their software. That's the instructions that tell the computer what to do.
Which part is the software? Can you point to it?
No, I can't point to the software. All the parts you see, that's the hardware.
Hardware and software? That's a good joke. You're funny.
Serious. Computers work by combining hardware and software. Hardware is anything physical, anything you can see and touch, like the monitor, the keyboard, and all the parts inside the computer. All those wires and circuits, that's where the real work gets done.
Okay, so I want to just confirm that we are still following. All right, so let me know in the chat. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Anyone? Okay, so we're still following. Awesome. All right, I hope I'm getting some things down. I'm going to ask those questions. So yes, let's keep following. Okay, let's proceed.
On this circuit board, you'll find a computer CPU, the central processing unit. That's like the computer's brain.
Oh, so what do you mean by software?
Software is the set of instructions that tell the computer what to do. That's where we come in.
We do?
Yes, your computer doesn't have any idea what it's doing. In fact, it won't do anything at all ever, unless you tell it to.
Wow, that's a lot of power.
Yes, you need to be very careful about what kind of, or it won't work properly.
Oh, well, how hard can it be?
Would you like to try to write very careful step-by-step instructions, like how a computer reads them?
Sure. I got it.
Then let's make a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, I know how to do that. I make myself peanut butter sandwiches as a snack, sometimes after school.
Good. Then this should be very easy for you, right?
Right.
Pretend your computer has hands. How would you tell it to make a peanut butter sandwich?
Well, you take some bread and some peanut butter, and you put the peanut butter on the bread.
Like this?
No, that's silly.
Well, the computer doesn't know that. You have to tell it everything, step by step. Try again.
Okay. You take some bread. Wait, you open the bread and take 2 slices out. Now, you take your peanut butter and put it on the bread. Oh my gosh, no. Let's start again. You open the bread, take out 2 slices, put them on a plate. Now open the jar of peanut butter, stick a knife in, and use it to put the peanut butter on the bread. Stick the 2 pieces of bread together.
Looks like a pretty crunchy sandwich there.
Oh my gosh! One more time. Open bread, take out 2 slices, put them on a plate, open the jar of peanut butter, stick in a knife, use the knife to spread peanut butter on the bread slices. Put away the knife. Close the 2 pieces of bread together.
Okay, that looks like a pretty good sandwich. about having to be very careful with the instructions?
Yes!
That's what software is. The step-by-step instructions you give your computer. One set of instructions is called a program. You just wrote a peanut butter sandwich program.
I think I could get the hang of this.
One more thing, Topher. We've been speaking English to your computer, but computers actually speak different languages.
Like French?
No, Muppets is sure. Computers speak computer languages. For example, Python, Java, C. Those are names. Computer programmers, like me, learn these languages so we can talk to computers. Here's an example of some computer code in Python.
Oh! I know some of those words. Can anyone become a computer programmer?
Sure, Topher. Everyone can learn how to code. It's just like solving a puzzle.
I love puzzles!
Me too. Hey, kids.
All right. Okay. Yes, question time. Question time. Question time. All right. Can someone just tell me, okay, what is one thing you learned from this video? My first question. Mention one thing you learned from this video. Computers are dummies, you tell them everything. Yes, so computers can only work with the instructions you tell them. So you have to tell them everything. If you don't tell it anything, it just sits there on its own doing nothing. That's very good. Oluwadam, that's from Elijah. Thank you, Elijah. Oluwadam Nara says anyone can be a computer programmer. That is absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Well done. Thumbs up, guys. Joseph says the computer comprises both hardware and software. Excellent. Excellent. Charlene says he learned that computer programming is like solving a puzzle. I need to give you all around the rock because it's like perfect, right? So yes, there are a lot of things that comprise of computer software, hardware. When you now hear, okay, program is a set of instructions that you've learned, and there are like different programming languages. So I want someone to mention 3 different programming languages that we learned from this video. Python, Java, C. Well done. And which one would we be using to create our game? Can someone remind me? Python. Excellent, Lucy. Well done. Yeah, so that is typically how computers work. It's like very, very interesting. And I'm very certain you all will enjoy like every bit of this class. So I ensure you come every day, come on time, and as many friends as possible. Go and invite them all. Let them come and join you because it's going to be a very, very interesting session. And as I said, programming is just like building a puzzle. Now think about, okay, writing program. Then now not just writing program. Now you're writing it like to build a game. Like that's like very, very exciting. So I believe we're all excited and we're all gingered and we're all ready for um, these sessions going forward. So yes, prepare your laptops, whatever you be using, prepare your internet, try to come on time, invite your friends. As I said, invite your friends is important. And don't learn this alone. Invite your friends, right, so that they come. Once again, I am Uluwadam Lola Shoyombor, and I'm the founder of the Creative Kids Zone, an NGO that in technology skills as well. So thank you once again, Destek. Thank you, Israel, for inviting me to just do this introductory session. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me. So let me know if you have questions. So before I go, like any questions you have so far, like from like the first video and the second video that I played, if you have questions, so you just ask me. All right, you can ask me for now before we proceed to other things. Do you have to be a gamer to make games? Like anyone can actually write games. Anyone can make games. You saw that young boy at 5 year old was already writing games. Okay, so once you learn it, you can start creating as possible. And the thing is, when you start creating game, you absolutely become like a game developer, right? You become a game developer. A gamer is like someone that plays the game. A game developer is someone that like creates the game. So you become a game developer. So yes, Elijah, you don't necessarily have to be. You don't even need to know like I believe like how we'll be teaching you, like they'll be teaching from the basics, like the basics of Python, and gradually to you. Even if you don't have any knowledge, yes, everything will be covered in this one week training. Everything will be covered in this one week training. So don't be afraid. We've got you covered like all through this training. So invite your friends, as I said. All right. So if there are no other questions, I'll be signing out now. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Please, no one is talking. Is that all for today? Hello? Destiny, is anyone there?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for that presentation that we just had. We will also just go through concepts that we will be learning throughout this week. My name is Sherry Lynn, and I will be taking you through some of the lessons as we're building our Python games. I hope we're all very excited. If you're going to be a student and if you're going to be learning games, please just type your name in the chat box to show that you're a student and you're going to be part of our learners. Just type your name in the chat box, just type your name so that I know that you are a student. I see Elijah. Thank you so much, Elijah. I see James. Thank you so much, James. And I also see Esther. Okay, thank you so much. Can you also just type in your age so that I know how old you guys are as we're going to be learning our Python games and as we're going to be learning our concepts. Elijah, James, and Esther, just type in your age in the chat box so that I also know how old you are, because this is going to be very, very, very exciting. Okay. Esther and Olua, please also type in your ages in the chat. 16, James is 20, Olua is 17. Esther, how old are you? All right, and Esther Charles is 20 years old. Okay, fantastic. So I'm just going to share my screen just to explain some of the concepts that we're going to be learning during this week. which is very, very, very exciting concepts. Let me just share my screen. You can all see my screen. So the first concept, the concept that was of building our games using our Pi game is we're going to be using a module from Python programming, which is called Pygame. So Pygame is the one that makes it possible for you to build your games, for you to build these interesting games that we see with the colorful backgrounds, with your zombies and your goblins and your shooting games. So we're going to be building very exciting games. So the first thing that we're going to be learning is your character movement, from jumping to walking to flying. So that's the first simple concept that we're going to be learning, and we're just going to show you a bit of that as we build the games. The learning is the animation of objects. So by animation of objects, by that we just mean if you've built your character and your character is walking and jumping and now you want it to shoot, that falls under our animation of project, then of objects, and then we're going to be learning about our game loops. So game loops are the main thing that we'll be using as we're building our games. So it's very important that we focus and we understand. When we don't understand, it's also good to ask questions. And then we're also going to be learning about collisions and hitboxes. What happens when our characters collide with each other? What happens when the bullet shoots the zombies? Which will also fit into 5, which are projectiles and shooting. Where now, for example, if our game is going to be about goblins shooting each other, we're also going to be learning about those particular projectiles and shooting. And then number 6 is creating enemies in health bars. So most of us have played games, and then in playing the games, you see if you are slowly dying, if you've still got life, you see if you can still play, which is part of the concepts that we're going to be learning when we're creating enemies in health bars. And then we're also going to be learning game optimization using object-oriented programming. This will be a bit challenging, but don't worry, it's not scary. We're going to explain it in a very, very simple way, in which all of us will be able to understand everything that we'll be explaining. Are there any questions so far? Maybe we can take a break for any questions so that we explain to anyone who might have been left behind. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat box so that we can move along. We still have about 20 minutes and we want to introduce you to the first concepts and help you set up your environment if you haven't set up your environment. Elijah, Esther, questions in the chat box. Your tutors, which will be myself and the gentleman called Danson, you can be at the liberty to email us, and then we'll even give you links to some tutorials that you can be able to understand in your part-time. But us as tutors will be available to explain any concepts that you don't understand. So yes, all this can be learned in a week. It's going to be exciting. You know, when you're learning exciting things, it's very easy for you to understand. And then Elijah is asking, will recorded sessions be sent? So the good thing about technology is that you can have access to these videos that we're going to be teaching you guys. We'll also create a digital access so that for those who even finish the course at the end of the day, we'll be able to upload on YouTube so that you guys can access these different courses that we are doing. Are there any other questions? While you're asking your questions, I also want to ask our students Elijah, Olua, and Esther, and Abel, who's 18 years old. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have set up the Python environment, if you guys had experience with Python as well. So for this game, even if you've never had experience with programming or Python, it's okay. You will be able to catch up. But so that we understand, so who are working with, please just type in the chat box if you have had experience with programming before. 1, 2. Please also indicate if you've downloaded Python or if you've set up your environment, so that we know today we can be assisting each other with setting up the environments and downloading the Python, so that tomorrow we are ready for our first lesson. Okay, Elijah says no, Olua says no, and Esther, have you guys programmed with Python before? Have you downloaded it or set up the environment? Please respond in the chat box so that we can assist each other in doing all of that. Esther and Tolu, please respond. All right, Olua says he has PyCharm. PyCharm is okay. You can still use it as your environment. It's still okay. But for these tutorials, we want you guys to use the default Python IDE, which is very simple. But then if you feel comfortable in PyCharm, that means using it and you are comfortable, it's okay. All right, since most of us don't have experience with Python and don't have the environment set, I'm just going to throw a link so that we can all download Python. I'm going to send you the link just now. All right, thank you so much. So can everyone click on that link that I've just typed in and download the latest version of Python? So if you click on that link, it will direct you to the Python website where you can download Python. So the latest version of Python is Python 3.9.4. If you're using a PC, a Windows laptop, if you're also using a Mac or an Apple laptop, you can also go on that website. It will also direct you where you can download the version for Mac. Please, can we do that now so that if anyone is having problems, we can be able to assist you? We still have about 12 more minutes. And for those who don't manage to finish, it's still okay. We will send you the steps that you need to follow to make sure that your environment is set up. So once you're done downloading, can you please just indicate in the chat box that you're done downloading so that I can help you with the next steps? All right, if you're using your phone, yes, you can still be part of this, but then now when you're using your phone, you will need to be using an online editor, which will allow you to access the packages that we'll be using for the games. But I would highly encourage you to find a laptop or to use a laptop for this series, because with your phone, there are some limitations and you will not be able to do everything that a person using a laptop can do. So we encourage you to find laptops, to use laptops for this game development training. Also, if you're done downloading from the website, please indicate in the chat box so that I can assist you with further steps to follow. All right. Thank you so much. Those who are downloading, can you please locate where you've downloaded the package and then right click and run as administrator so that you can install it in your laptop. Please go ahead and install in your laptop. You can just right click on the downloaded file. Please select run as administrator and go ahead and authorize to install in your laptop. All right, for the online editor, you can use this one. I have just put in the link on the chat box. You can use that as we're going through our lessons. That will help you. You can be able to code and compile and run Pygame using that online editor. It's very simple. And if you also face any challenges, feel free to approach your tutors. We're available to help you at any time. If you have challenges with that one, for the one using the phone, you can also use the link that I also just sent, but I would recommend that you use the first one that I sent for the online editor. This also goes for all of you. If you want to use the online editor, you can use the first link that I sent. It's compatible with Pygame and it'll be very easy. Yes, Elijah, thank you for that question. Should you select Ed Python 3.9 to path when downloading? Yes, please go ahead and do that. It will make it simpler for you. If you didn't do it, it's still okay. We'll go through lessons on how to edit to your environment paths. But if you are still installing, please select Ed Python 3.9 to path. Please go ahead and do that. If you didn't do it, please just indicate in the chat box and then we'll also be able to assist you. You will need to add Python 3.9 to your path variables. All right, please let me know once you are done installing. Okay, Oloa is done installing. Elijah is still installing. That's okay. Elijah, yes, when you're installing, it'll ask you if you want to add Python 3.9 path to your environment. Please go ahead and select that. If anyone is having challenges, please also indicate. I see Abel is done. Is anyone else done installing? Okay, Danson is done. Thank you so much. If you are not done, please indicate so that we know how many people are not yet finished. We want to make sure that everyone is set up so that tomorrow we can officially start our first lessons. Please, if you're facing any challenges, please feel free to indicate now. All right, Elijah, a few more minutes. Esther Charles, are you winning? We want to make sure that we can help everyone with setting up their environments today so that tomorrow we start. Okay, Esther and Elijah will give you a few more minutes so that we all move at the same pace. As for Olua, it's okay. You don't need to install anything since you'll be using the online editor. But I still encourage you to try and find a laptop, even if you find it on the second day, tomorrow or the third day. it's okay. We'll also help you catch up with everyone else. Okay, Elijah and Esther, are you facing any problems? If you're facing any problems, okay, Elijah is finished. Well done, Elijah. Esther, let us know when you're done. We want to make sure that everyone is not struggling. All right. Okay, does everyone know their command prompts? Are you guys all familiar with your command prompt? If you've successfully installed Python, successfully installed, we want to do that now so that we can all see that we've all successfully installed Python. It should show you. Maybe I can also I can also share my screen so that we can all be on the same page. So I'm just going to share my screen and I am going to show you what to type so that we can see that we have successfully installed Python. Okay, I am now sharing my entire screen. Please confirm that everyone can see my screen. Right. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, perfect. So if you can see my screen, you should be able to see what I'm doing. If you're on a Windows PC, you can just click on that corner and just search CMD or command prompt. I hope you can see. You can just type in CMD or command prompt and then you click on it. And then once you click on it, let me enlarge this so you can see. Once you click on it, I want you to type Python like. Once you type, it shows you the version of Python that you have installed. That will help you know that you have successfully installed Python and it's been added to your path variables. If it's giving you an error or if it's not showing you that, please kindly let me know. It should look like this. I hope you can all see it. It should look like this. When you type Python, it should show you the version of Python that you have downloaded. If it gives you an error, please indicate on the chat box so that we can help you set the path of the environment to add Python to your path environment so that you can use it properly and you don't face any challenges. Is everyone getting the Python version that they've installed? If you are not getting that, please kindly indicate so that we can help you add it to your path environment. You are supposed to see this. You are supposed to see this. When you type Python, you're supposed to see the Python version that you have installed. If you do not see this, please indicate on the chat box so that we can help you add Python to your environment. Okay, I see James says no. Okay, that's fine. Anyone else who's facing that problem? Okay, Olua, well done. That's good. Esther and Elijah, please update me if you guys are facing any challenges. What about Elijah? All right. Okay, so Elijah is working. Olua, it's working. So James and Esther, okay, that's okay. Now we're going to help you set Python to your path variables so that you'd be able to see what everyone else was seeing when they typed Python in their command prompt. Okay, so Esther and James, I want you to locate where you have installed Python. Normally, if you go on your C drive, it should be there on program files. Do you guys know how to check where your Python is installed? Because that will help us set the Python to the path environment. Do you guys know how to do that? If you do not, that's still okay. That's what we want to do next now. Okay, so I can see that most of you are saying you can't locate where you installed your Python. That's still okay. I am going to try and share my screen and maybe show some of you where how to locate where Python would have installed. It's normal. A lot of people, even after they install, some of them, they don't pay attention to where they would have installed. So that is absolutely fine. It's not a problem at all. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. I hope you guys can see my screen. So most of the times when most people can't locate where they've, all right. So I'm just going to open a file folder. Okay, like this. I want you guys to go where it's written this PC. This is going to be the long way of checking, but I think it will help most of you. Okay, just go to where there's written this PC, go on your laptop, select where it's written this PC. You've selected where it's written this PC. I want you to select local disk C. Everyone should have a local disk C. You select this, your local disk C. After you selected that, you go to where it's written users. I hope we're following. I'll try and move very slow. You go where it's written users. After you've seen that, you select. So if you're moving slow, you can just look at the top here. It will show the parts in which we're moving. So we've selected this PC, we've selected local disk, we've selected users. So now look for your name under this list where it's written users. Look for your name. If it's your laptop, look for your name. So for me, that's my name. And then I am going to scroll down, right? You scroll down from the top, you keep scrolling, and then try and look where it's written app data. App data. Most of the times when people have installed their Python and they don't know where it is, it normally falls here. When you've located app data, just select app data. If you're falling behind, this should guide you. This PC local disk users, here it will be your name. So you select your name and then you select where it's written app data. Once you get there, you select where it's written local. So here where it's written local, I'm just going to double click. It's written local and I'm going to scroll down. Sometimes for some people, you'll be able to see Python here. But then if you keep scrolling down, like for me, you can see that there's no Python there. So you select where it's written programs, right? We've gone on local disk C, we've gone on users, you've selected your name, you've gone on app data, you've gone on local, and then you still don't see Python, right? That's still okay. You can select where it's written programs. And for me, as you can see, already I can see Python, right? So if I click on Python, now I see where my Python has installed. So this is my latest version, which I have installed, which is Python 3.9. So for me, my path for Python will be this PC local disk C users. This will be your name, your app data, your local programs, and then Python. And then, so for me, this is Python 3.9, which is the latest version that we'll be using. So I